What's up, guys? It's your host here, Spartanic Arts DxD, back with another high school DxD related video. And today we have What If Issei Went Rogue Part 5. This part is pretty cool. And if you guys want to know exactly when I upload, such my upload schedule, click the little blue button right next to the subscribe button. Or if you want to become a channel member, literally click the first link down in the description below and it'll lead you right to it. Thank you so much for all the support. It's absolutely amazing. Let's try to hit like 600 likes for this video. That'd be absolutely awesome, of course. Remember to go subscribe to my second channels, and Popowski and Fallen DxD down in the description below. And just tell me, guys, when you want another stream. I said I was gonna do one December 31st, but then I had to do some car stuff, and oh god, you know how that goes. So thank you so much for the support, guys. And without further ado, let's go and thank my balance breakers: Rob the King, Lachlan Yates, Atomic Warlord, Rob the King, Lachlan Yates, Jordan Patchow, Aunt Lewis, Night Ammo, Refeek135, Asamoda, Slow, The Black Dragon Emperor, Keep Saying 21, Louis Bermudez, $5 Sake, VR with hashtag 2347, welcome back, Night Ammo, Ziki 2000, Seth Voiles, The PS Gamer, XRX108, Sinmar Q, Legendary Saiyan 98, Mazaku, Dr_MLG_ is the bomb, Grim 5-Shot Gamer, That Round Guy, Zero Fusion, Source Bonder, Chaotic Raven, the J-Boys, and Ryuga. Thank you so much for becoming a balance breaker. And without any further intrusion, let's go ahead and get right into it. Chapter 15. What's wrong? Is there any problem? Issei couldn't help but become confused because of her reaction. No, Luna says. Luna shakes her head hastily. It's just that your ability value was really too astonishing. The values of various status parameters by far have surpassed the average value. It's even more outstanding than the first-class adventurer. Immediately after her outburst, every person inside the guild looked towards Issei, and they couldn't help but become doubtful if that's true. Every single of your status parameters off the charts, be it strength, agility, intelligence, magic power, and even luck, has surpassed the standard value. But Luna don't seem any surprised appearance from Issei, and she couldn't help but become speechless, like it's all normal for him. And she remembered she just said his status out loud inside the guild. Just when she was about to apologize, Issei said, "It's okay. Since you have said that many, then don't mind it anymore. What's done is done. I won't blame you." She couldn't help but lowered her head down in embarrassment for what she did. She continued to inform Issei while lowering her voice this time. "But for someone in your classes, I've never seen any case like this before. Usually it's a novice class for a beginner." Well, Issei isn't too surprised hearing that because he basically isn't normal human. It's no wonder the card can't register his class. It's not like a crystal ball like to register his class as the true Red Dragon King of Domination now, can he? He knows that there's a dragon in this world, but the information he gathered so far, the strongest being is this called Goddess and Demon Lord. He don't feel any threat from the aura he felt around him so far. Luna thought he became downhearted knowing he doesn't have a class, so she hastily says, "It is okay. Even if you don't have any class, just from your status parameters alone, you could easily become an outstanding adventurer. I can guarantee it." Issei couldn't help but chuckle a little after effort on reassuring him. "Thanks for your care, but I don't mind. Like you said, even without a class, I can easily become a top adventurer, no?" He says that while giving her a smile. Luna's heart couldn't help skip a beat when she saw his smile and his soothing voice. Her face went red after that. Even though she could clearly see his face from his voice and the outline of his face alone, she could tell he's quite a handsome guy. She slowly mutters while looking down. "Anyway, could you finish my registration as an adventurer?" Yeah." She hurriedly finished the process and gave Issei his adventurer card. After Issei became an adventurer, and the legend of the strongest adventurer in history begins from here. Level 1, huh? And as for the status parameter, I don't know the average parameter of the other adventurers are, but I guess from the reaction of the receptionist, it's very high. Oh well, that doesn't really matter anyway. But I wonder if I level up can make me even stronger. Well, only one way to find out. Then Issei heads towards the request board. The adventurer who was standing in front of the board gives away for him because they don't know if what Luna was saying was true or not. But they go and test it out like some idiot. There's nothing to gain by testing it out anyway. They ain't gonna follow some certain template. But, of course, there's always an exception for everything. "Oi, you newbie over there." Issei looks toward him who call him, and he saw a young man with a slender body, blonde hair, and a black mole under his left eye. His outfit consists of a neck choker, a red jacket with cuffed sleeves, bandaged forearms, and brown pants with tutted socks. Yeah, you. Now I want to see where you have some cash in your bag. Now, as your senior, I want you to pay some newbie fee for me. You better comply or I would. Before he finishes his words, he got blown away by Issei's punch, and then he crashed against some tables and chairs. Thankfully, Issei held back, or he will become a meat putty by now. But even then, he'd have a few broken ribs, and there's some foams coming out of his mouth. And he's already lost consciousness long before he crashed against the tables. And the one near the tables get away hastily, and just when they were going to complain at Issei, they saw him glaring at them with glowing red eyes. That scared the shit out of them, and they chose to vent their frustrations to the guy who got blown away. Oi! Wake up, prick! Don't you dare pretend to pass out! Oh yeah, you pay for our losses, the mob said. They kept kicking the poor guy and shaking him around, even though they really know he passed out on, and already they don't want to mess around with the one who did this to him. They can only give silent prayers to the guy and pretend to kicking and punch around him. They know this guy well, and they know when he's pretending or not. But at this moment, they know for sure he's not pretending at all. Poor bastard. That's what's on their mind at this moment while looking at him. Issei just snorted at them and went to look for the quest board. Crusades against a giant frog. Crusades against 5 giant frog in 3 days. The reward is 100,000 Iris. Crusades against goblins. Crusade against goblins that's nesting around the clearing of the forest. The reward is 5,000 Eris for each goblin killed. Crusades against the cockatrices. A crusade against the cockatrices that are found roaming around near the western forest of Axel. The reward is 300,000 Eris. Crusades against a pack of white direwolf. Crusades against a pack of white deer belong to this pack. The reward is 1 million Eris and 50,000 for each white wolf killed, etc. So Issei looked at this hardest the quest he could find and took it to the counter. When Luna saw what Issei chose as first quest, she couldn't help but become stupefied because the quest is to kill a poisonous Warren, and the reward for it is 2 million Eris if he could repel it, and 15 million Eris if he could kill it. Poisonous virulent subjugation? This quest is too hard for a beginner. Please consider it. Even if this reward is big, but the difficulty is too hard, especially for a beginner. Luna tried to prevent Issei, but he calmly replies, "No need. The quest is fine enough, but no buts. Don't you remember my status parameters?" Luna became a loss of words at that. "Don't worry, I'll be fine." Issei once more gave her another calm smile, and her heart skipped a beat. Another beat, she finally realized with it, but she had a small voice at the end when she saw him turn around. Be careful out there," Luna says. She says that with a red face, and the guys he saw that couldn't help but become jealous because it's the first time them seeing her bashful against another guy. And there's a lot of them are aiming it for her. So they become envious and angry at Issei. Issei just calmly gave her a small nod. After Issei got to the destination, he saw a purplish colored Warren on top of the cliff. When the Warren saw him, and its first growled at him because it's feeling angry there's someone dare to trespass out its territory. But when it feels his aura, it became frozen in fear, because it feels as strong as fuck. It can tell this human isn't a human at all, but a dragon in a human skin. Just when it was about to fly away, Issei suddenly disappeared from his previous spot and reappeared behind the Weirin, and the Weirin can hopelessly see its death coming. Issei kicked the Weirin's head, just a tap and the Weirin fall down and it's dead. There's no wound that can be seen from the spot where Issei's kick landed. It's the Ouija he learned from his Shiosho. He just needed to land a small hit, and the skill will take effect whenever he wants to. The Ouija turned the Weirin's heart into mush inside its body, even though he still hasn't fully mastered it. But to kill such a weakling such as this Weirin, it's more than enough. There's a particle of light from the Weirin, and it went straight to Issei. Level up, level up, level up, and it just kept spamming that. There's a series of level up sound cue from his card. He only leveled up 5 times after killing the Warren, even though it's supposed to give more XP than that, but it can't be helped because he's a special case. But Issei just thought that it's normal. Then Issei head towards the city after that. Now, back at the guild. What? You're already done? But you're only gone for about 1 hour. Luna couldn't help but become flabbergasted because it took him 1 hour to fully finish it. Then she hurriedly checks his adventurer card, because she could tell if he's lying or not just from the experience stored in his card. It's true, Luna said. Luna changed to Issei, and her face was in awe after confirming it. A level 1 who can subjugate a poisonous Warren. That needs a party of B class at the very least to take it down. It only took you 1 hour at that. Unknown to her, it can be faster if you want to go to the locations earlier. If you have the materials from the Warren, the guild will gladly buy it from you. If you want to sell them, that is, because it scales gallbladder, meat, etc. Every part of its body can be used for either alchemy, food, and create or armor or weapon, and the value is quite high. But Issei, of course, doesn't bother the materials off the Warren. He's too bothered to gather them like that. So he's planning on to buy the storage ring for next time. So he told her no, because he doesn't want to gather any more attention by saying he left it back there. I see. Then congratulations for completing the quest, adventurer Issei Hyodo. And then she gave Issei the reward for the quest, and Issei asked her if she sells any storage rings over there, and she says yes. So he bought one at the price of 12 million Eris. After we received the storage ring, he processed to ask her, how can I learn skills after I got my skill points? Well, there's usually a skill tree that shows up on the card, but it seems because you don't have a class, it doesn't show up. So the only way for you to learn skills is to study it from the other adventures like a novice class, probably. But you can only learn the skills that are compatible with you. If it's not compatible, then you can't learn it no matter what. But considering your status parameters, I doubt you will have difficulties learning new skills. Then Issei got a general idea of it. So he looked around the guild and says, who wants to teach me some skills? I will pay you for it. He jiggles the money bag that contains 3 million Eris to them. And all the adventurers' eyes inside the guild light up by seeing that. All night. Well, Issei became disappointed because most of the skills they possess is useless for him, such as one-handed sword, two-handed sword, and daggery mastery, etc., because he already possesses the internal arms mastery, skill from Seosho, because it enables him to use any weapon proficiently already at an expert level. Other weapon mastery types become useless for him. Well, he learns some basic skills such as enemy detection, stealth, and physical performance. He doesn't learn any supporting skills such as healing, because he can't, probably because of his life and death, skills interfering. Not that he'd need one in the first place, because he could just regenerate from his wounds as well as he have enough mana. And he can regenerate mana just by absorbing some life around him. He doesn't bother learning skills such as steal, lockpicking, and Hawkeye, etc. because he don't need to steal stuff nor lockpicking stuff. He can just bust open doors with his bare hands, and why would he bother stealing from people? As for his Hawkeye, he already know the best eyesight from his Dragon Eye. As for the magic, there isn't any capable mage/wizard presence at the guild, so just now there's no one that can teach him about it. Even though he learnt magic from the Semiramis, but she can only teach magic that related with his life and death skills. The most basic he learned is clean, one where you can remove any stains. Probably because she's a girl that likes to be clean, hence the only basic magic she can teach him is that. She doesn't know the basic fireball skill, not blames her for it, because she has a life and death magic related stuff. And she sure loves to use poison. She tries to teach him, but he doesn't cut it. He just doesn't like it. But he does gain poison resistance from trying to learn her poison skills, though. Well, at least there's some new skills I got. Better than none, I guess. Well, let's do some more quests tomorrow. Issei become quite the workaholic after this, even through Semiramis and Scathach told him to relax, but he couldn't help it knowing he could get even more strength just from leveling up. Then Issei finds an inn to spend the night, and that is the end of Chapter 15. Chapter 16. A week has passed since that night. Usually a new adventurers are ports dirt. It will take them years to climb up the ranks and become rich, so they mostly spend their nights in either stables, streets, and if they are lucky they can spend the night at somebody's home. They are generous enough to let them stay for that night, that is, because they need to economize their incomes. If they run out of money early, then they won't be able to take any quest. Just to take a quest, they need to store a deposit in case they failed the quest. Then the guild will take that deposit as a fine, and they will also lose some rank points as a penalty. And they won't be able to stock up recovery points and the likes to survive out there, or to repair their gears in case it's broken. The guild won't let them go out without proper preparations, but not Issei. He directly went past the beginner phase. At his first quest, he subjugated a poison variant and received 15 million Eris, and was never in any history of that happening before. And after he took similar quest difficulty and even higher ones, Issei's rank skyrocketed in a short amount from F rank to a B rank in just a week. He should have been at higher rank to become A rank, and above he needed to go to the capital and took a certain test to become one. But he's not interested with fame and glory, so he'll just stay at Axel all his time while doing a bunch of quests. And there were some adventurers who got greedy and tried to rob him or tried to get his profits by leeching off him. Needless to say, all of them got smashed into a pulp and became out of commission for years to come. After he gained the nickname Tyrant Overlord from the adventurers, he never wasted any words to thus bother him and make them take a vacation straight away. And his reputation after that. Mob 1. A no-class adventurer can finish any type of quest. The success rate is 100%, and all it only took to achieve? At first, the response after hearing this was, "Yeah, right. Come up with better lies next time," the mob said. But after seeing it firsthand, they became silent, like they never uttered any word in the first place. At some point, there's a guild staff from the royal capital tries to contact him and have him do the test, but he refuses. At first, the guild staff tries to talk him out of it, but after hearing his answer, he becomes a loss for words. I just want to relax, Issei says. What's on the guild staff thoughts after hearing that is, dude, you have finished a big amount of quests even when compared to the first class adventures in the capital just in a week's time, and all of them were B rank and higher difficulty at that. And you're here saying you want to relax? Only an idiot would believe you. There's nothing the guild staff can do more after that, because there's no rules that make him forced to adventure to take the rank A quest. So he just went back to the capital to report his interview with Issei. When Issei arrived at the guild hall, all eyes are on him and the rowdy hall becomes quiet, and everyone can be heard muttering, "It's the tyrant overlord." So he's the tyrant. The last guy who tried to provoke Issei got beaten up instantly by those around him because they don't want to earn his Eerie and become forced to take a vacation along with that idiot. Issei's response to all of that was just a twitch corner of his eyes and his mouth. He never intended to earn that title. It's just the previous idiots annoyed him so much. Well, not that he cared that much anyway. Good morning, Issei-san, Luna says. Luna, after seeing Issei, revealed a dazzling smile. How to say again, Issei's favorite achievement is the best in hit rate coupled with his mysterious demeanor. He earned quite a nice reputation with the girls, even though no one has ever saw his true face, but just from the outline of his body and his face and his enchanting wine red eyes, also his exposed long silky looking dark brown hair. It's enough to brand him as a handsome man in the minds of every young and mature girls here. And Luna here is one of his admirers. Issei feels weird by just looking at her dazzling smile. Ever since that time, the weird in subjugation, she has always become so enthusiastic and gave him over-the-top smile that usually only used when a girl looking at their beloved. And sometimes she has this predatory look on her eyes while looking at him. After she's all on her prime age for searching for marriage, and of course, she'd want the best man there to become her husband. And Issei here fills all the criteria she wants in a husband: strong, hardworking, handsome, and rich. She's anxious to get married. At some point, she wanted to drug Issei with his refrigerator-filled drink, but Issei can smell something odd and refused her offer. Lucky for him and her, if he by chance really took that drink, then Issei might lose his virginity without consent, and as for Luna, she'll become addicted and might be broken after the deed is done, because the libido Issei possesses are off the charts as well, just like his other status parameters. Even the goddess of lust might not be able to fully take him on if he went berserk, so Issei branded her leftover woman after seeing her thirsty look. And when Issei is asked for any new quest information, she leans into the counter to whisper at him the info as a pretense to show her offer a certus look even more prominent, hoping she would become intense in the process. And it's not the first time she's done this before, so after a while, Issei just plainly ignored her antics and left her be. After getting the new information, he wanted to head towards the quest bulletin once more to find a new job to do, and every single person made way for him and the masses split the sea. Issei got used to this situation already, so he just calmly headed towards the bulletin. Issei just ignored the bandit quests and likes when he saw something. Searching for a team member, needs a gentle person, even if become bored, will patiently listen to others talk, who won't insult or laugh at another person's name if it sounds weird, and hopefully can become best friends after doing quests together. Preferred class is Vanguard. If possible, has same name or at almost the same age oneself, recently turned into a 14-year-old rookie arch wizard. Issei became confused after looking at this request. Some of its normal requests, such as looking for a Vanguard and the information owns class, but what's up with the other requirement? Weird name, best friends, what? Then he felt an intense light seats looking at him, and he instinctively turned around to look at the owner of the gaze. Even though his enemy detection skill doesn't react, he doesn't feel any animosity from it. But that intense line of sight kind of bothers him. Then their line of sight clashed against each other. Issei has some premonition. He just got into something troublesome, but ignores it straight away because he doubt anything can injure him in this world. And there he saw it, the owner of that intense gaze. It's a girl. She's a beautiful young girl with crimson-colored eyes. In mid-length dark brown hair, tied into a twin tails lie on her shoulders. She wears black robes and a cloak. She wields a silver staff and keeps a short sword gathered around her waist. Underneath the cloak, she wears a low-cut blouse, ultra-short pink miniskirt. She wears a quite the revealing outfit for such a young age. And when she saw him look at her, she becomes a bit flustered, but then took a deep breath and headed towards Issei. But she fell down during the walk, face first with her panties exposed in the open. All of the adventurers nearby laugh at her. They felt Issei gaze upon them and froze in their spot while Issei sweating buckets. while they were sweating buckets. Then they faked coughing and started whistling while their heads around turned into non-existent and walked out of the guild as fast as they could without running. Issei at first became surprised seeing her crimson eyes because he never saw anyone possessed of that eye color ever since he arrived at this world. But when Issei saw her fall, he became reminded of Azia when he saw this girl. They somehow have the same look on their eyes and at the same situation when they first met each other. But Issei shakes it off because he decided to stop comparing every girl he met with his old lovers. So he glares at those who laugh at her. Just when he's about to ask if she's okay, then he suddenly stands straight up and said, Yun, my name is Yun. Class is Archwizard, the one who will become the head of the Crimson Demon Magic Clan, while doing a silly pose. And her voice boomed loudly because the guild is very quiet at this moment, and her eyes are on because of that. Even Issei becomes stupefied when she suddenly said that all along with the silly pose. Finally, under all the line sights people giving her, she became red-faced out of embarrassment, and her body started shivering and tears threatening to come out of the corner of her eyes, and she finally snapped. Because she could finally conjure the embarrassment, she cried out loud and ran out of the guild at top speed. Everyone stupefied after seeing this. Issei just decided to follow her after that because he feels like he can't just leave her alone for some reason. Probably because she reminds him of Azia, or she's really just too pitiful to be left alone. So Issei got out of the guild to find her. After some searching, he finally found her sulking in a store that looks like a cafe. She buried her face on the table while the cafe employee don't know what to do after seeing that. Issei exhales another breath and sat across her, and he signaled the employee to take his orders for later. He fake coughed to get her attention, but she didn't respond to it, so he knocked off the table. She finally looked up while having the tears on her face, and she becomes surprised that there's someone who sat across her, and this person is the one she saw at the guild hall previously. So, about the request of yours, she finally snapped out of the thoughts and stand up after hearing this question. Yes? Will you be my friend? Yun said. Issei became a little taken back after she says that out loud. Yun realized her sudden outburst, and when she wanted to run away once more, Issei stopped her by grabbing her hand, and she looks back teary-eyed. Just calm down. Return to your chair so we can talk about it. She finally relented and returned to her previous spot. So, let me hear the reason why it seems you want a friend so much. Yun hesitated first, but after a few seconds, she finally told the reason why. After a while, Issei became speechless for the reason why she's desperate looking for friends. From what he could conclude so far, she's far too naive and gullible. Anyone can easily take advantage of her personality if that person just said, "We are friends, right? Now you can do this and that for me?" Issei took a deep breath and exhaled once more because he became tired of listening to her story, while Yun is fidgeting around on her seat because she's still nervous if he will avoid her after hearing the story. Issei once more calmly said to her, "I can accept your request, but I want you to teach me some magic skills in return. Don't worry about after you finish teaching me, I would still become your party member. And as for becoming your friend, we shall see later." Yun became ecstatic when she heard his response and almost jumped around in joy and held herself back because she doesn't want to become even more embarrassed. So, Issei extended his hand and asked, "Do we have a deal?" Yun happily shook his hand, and both in her arms and shake it up and down with gusto while saying, yes, deal." She even shed tears of joy that made the corner of Issei's eye twitch. After that, they do some quests together, and he's found she's very capable for a rookie, and he couldn't help but wondering once more, if she's this capable, then why does nobody take her in as a party member? As for becoming her friend, he even doubts she's cursed somehow and make anyone ignore her when they see her, but he can't sense any curse on her after utilizing his life and death magic. So to check if there's any on her, he learns a few magic skills from her, such as teleportation, light of saber, and bottomless swamp. Well, it's pretty neat skills in his opinion, even though he's fast. But teleportation should come in handy if he wants to go somewhere silently without breaking something in front of him like walls or doors. Light of Saber, which generates a lightning-based plasma curved edge blade able to slice almost anything. Also good enough if he wanted to attack from distance. Bottomless Swamp. Well, this is pretty weird itself, but he can utilize an AoE attack, I guess. How is that? Issei-san Yun says. She just elastically asked him after she finishes a bunch of giant frogs with her. Light of Saber. It's pretty good, Issei says. He gave her a calm smile when she's asking of his opinion of it. Yun became happy that her new friend and party member praised her effort. She has a goofy smile on her face and the laugh. After that they kept doing quests together, and their relationship became close enough as a real friend. And Yunyun is over the cloud with happiness because she can finally have a real friend of her own. While Issei took a liking to her personality, she really likes the old him and Azia for that matter. Yunyun has a determined, caring, and gentle personality. She is also quite shy and quick to blush. She is not always honest with her feelings. While very intelligent, she often takes others people's words too literally, and he often solves that problem by giving the one he tries to trick her a deathly glare or a small talk behind the scenes after when no one tries to mess with her, or anymore she gained little title of the Tyrant Mistress. What's worth mentioning of one of the fraud who tried to trick her is the guy who tried to extort Issei on his first day as an adventurer, aka Dustcun, and he took another vacation after that. They often found together while doing quests, and her fame went up along with Issei's, so they become quite famous duo in the town, and Luna became so jealous of her she often envious gazed at Yunyun, but she never realized her gaze because Yunyun is too happy to notice. Issei kind of sees her as a little sister and kind of overprotective as its little sis. At some point, Issei asks where she lived and she says stays in a stable, so he becomes speechless and tells her to live with him. At first she became embarrassed for the offer, but then concluded it's to enhance the relationship as friends, so she lived with Issei for now. She became surprised when she saw his house. It's the biggest mansion in town. Well, Issei bought this mansion for a cheap price, and he found out why it's cheap after he went inside the mansion. It's haunted, that's why. And that's the end of chapter 16. Chapter 17. Past. When Issei got inside the house, he sees a ghost controlling the dolls. The ghost thought it could scare him, just like the others by doing this, but Issei just calmly looks towards her. He ignores the flying dolls and looks straight at the ghost, and gave that ghost a chill even though she's already dead, especially after she saw the glowing red eyes of Issei, and when his eyes became slit like a dragon, she became frozen in fear. So Issei calmly looked at her and said, "Go away, or I'm going to eat you." He threatened the ghost, and it's super effective. The ghost literally got scared into the afterlife after she's gone from the world, and the mansion became completely automatically purified itself. All the dolls disappeared into thin air. Now, back to the present. When Issei brought Yunyun inside the mansion, she became amazed by its sheer size. Wow, so you live alone in a place like this, Issei? Pretty much. There's a lot of empty room, so you can choose whichever one you want. Mine is the middle door there. Yunyun begins reminded she's going to live together with the opposite gender, and she couldn't help become nervous because it's the first time she's done this before. But she calmed herself down. She knew that Issei is not the one who was going to do indecent stuff against the opposite gender, and he's pretty gentle inside, even though he seems calm and serious all the time. But when the time comes, he always flashes her with a soothing smile and always treats her with gentle and care. Even though she sometimes messed something up, he never gets mad at her and just calmly gave her advice and encouragement. He patiently guide her as if something stuck, but for some reason people always look wary, afraid of him. Not though she really cared though, because she's happy by just having him as a friend, and she's admit the best friend she's ever had, even though she'd never had friends before except maybe her rival Megamum. Recently, she started to look at Issei a different light. There's never anyone who treated her that way as for. Even her parents sometimes isn't as gentle as him, and she felt something twitch inside of her heart, even though she saw his smile. She still never saw his face until this day, though, because she doesn't want to intrude against someone's privacy, so she never asked him to show his face. She once asked him if he's Crimson Demon Clan member because of his red eyes, but he says no, and she can't really deny it because she never seen or heard anyone before in the village. After all, though he has his red eyes, it's not crimson like her Klasman. It's more like a wine red rather than crimson. So, with that, she fully believes him. After all, she never seen anyone outside her village who has crimson eyes before, and she knows Issei doesn't have a special case like the rest of her village, aka the Junabi case, even though she already has a certain degree of Junabi, but she won't let him know that. Thank you for having me, Issei-san, Yunyun says. Issei just calmly gave her a smile once more, and there it is again. The twitch she felt while looking at his smile. Take care of me too, Yunyun. For sure, Yunyun says. After that, they went their separate ways and went to their respective rooms. Yunyun chose the room beside him while she's sorting her luggage as she smells something delicious from outside. When she went outside her room, the flow of the smell headed towards the dining room, and there's a bunch of delicious food on the table. Yunyun couldn't help but be hungry after smelling the seething the food on the table. That's when she heard footsteps from behind her. Is this your cooking, Issei? When Yunyun turned around to ask Issei, she became frozen in place because she finally sees her Issei-san's face for the first time. That out-of-the-world handsome face, that perfect body, that enhancing wine red eyes, even though it gave a sharp ambience, it also gave certain gentleness at the same time. His long silky brown hair, his fair skin could make even women jealous. He usually wears his jacketed hood so people can't clearly see his perfect body and handsome face, but now that he only wears a black shirt with 2 buttons undone from the top down, he gives this certain sexy vibe that she can't describe. Even though she knew he had a fit body before, she never imagined his body would be this fit. Her eyes couldn't help become misty while looking at him now. She could swore she might have a nosebleed at this rate. Thankfully, he snapped her out of a delusion. Yun, what's wrong? Are you fine? Issei said. Issei couldn't help become worried while looking at him like that. Yun hurriedly shake her head and turn her face away so she won't become lost in the delusion once more after looking at his face. I'm fine. Well, wow, this sure looks delicious. Did you make all this, Issei-san? She tries to change the topic, but Issei won't have any of it and put the food from his hand down on the table and went towards Yun once more. He bent down to her body matches her height. After all, he's taller than Yun. Yun once again saw his handsome face, but this time from up close. What do you mean you're fine? Your face looks red. Are you having a fever? Here, let me check. He then proceeded to stick his hand on her forehead to check her temperature. And Yun has finally reached her limit. Her face went full red, smoke coming out of her head, and her eyes are spinning. And finally, she fainted with a nosebleed on her nose. Yun! Issei hurriedly catch her from falling. Hang in there, Yun. Issei still doesn't really realize why she fainted that way. While Yun have hearts on her eyes, she has this silly look on her face, even though she's fainted already. After all, she's at the age of her puberty, and she has interest in the opposite gender like normal girls her age. So it's perfectly normal for her to react that way, especially after seeing a perfect man like Issei. After a while, Yun finally stares awake. She opens her eyes, and what she sees her becomes stupefied once more, because she's looking up to see Issei's face at close range. Issei, at this moment, put her head on his lap while reading some books. It's the lap pillow position. When she set her eyes on his calm face while reading the book, she became entranced once more. Oh, you're awake, Yun. You scared me back there. I thought something happened to you. Thankfully, you're all right. Issei saw her awoke finally, and he gave her a smile and put down a book he's reading. Then he proceeded to pat her gently. Yun almost fainted once more after he's done all of this, but she held herself back and hastily back of the pillow, a bit feeling reluctant in doing so. I'm fine. Thank you for taking care of me, Issei-san. She tried to avert her face from looking directly at his face. Let's eat, Issei-san. Let's eat, Issei replied. Issei then stood up from the sofa and headed towards the dining table once more. Yun followed close up behind, while him gazing in his direction with a red face. She's still out of a little bit because of her heart rapidly thumping at this moment. They have an awkward dinner together because Yun keep looking down with a red face while sneaking a quick at his direction. Issei at first becomes amused, but then chooses to let her be for now. Even though his food is the most delicious food Yun has ever tasted, she probably can't react to it because she's still in her delusion. So, after she finishes her food, she offered to wash the dishes without any chance for rebuttal, and took all the empty plates on the table back to the kitchen. She practically dashes towards the kitchen while bringing the dishes along with her. Issei becomes stupefied at this first, and then he just chuckled at her reaction. After some thinking, Issei realized she must have fainted because of his face, but he couldn't help but stop teasing her after she's awake for some reason. Now he knows what Akano feels like when she's teasing him back then. Not that he cares anymore, of course. He then concluded because she's pretty naive and gullible. And this must be the first time when she saw a handsome face. Unknown to him, Yun have seen a lot of handsome face, but none before she can give her this kind of reaction. Now, back at Yun, she washes dishes while still having a red face. And what's on her mind at the moments are, oh my god, Issei's face is so handsome. How can someone that handsome? It's pretty much a crime for that to be having a face. My heart can't stop beating loudly for some time now. Issei's son, no idiot. After they both went to sleep, but not before Issei saying good night at her, and she responded with a stutter, good night, Issei-san. Then she hurriedly closed the door. Issei-san then chuckled at her reaction once more. Now, the next day. Yun have a delusional dream where she went to marry Issei, and she kept having this goofy smile on her face while still sleeping. Yun said in her sleep. Issei is already awake, and he's doing his meditation inside his room to stabilize his aura. He then learned to give his aura after some thinking, because his aura can give away his location in case he went to infiltrate an area or utilizes his stealth skill. After a while, he stopped his meditation and head towards the kitchen to prepare breakfast for both him and Yun. Not long after the setting up breakfast, Yun came out of her room. Good morning. Issei gave her a greeting, and Yunya couldn't help but be blushed after all, but not forgetting to respond, Good morning, Issei-san. So they both started eating breakfast together, and this time Yunya properly gave Issei food a compliment, and he just responded with his usual smile along with glad you like it words. Then they both head towards the guild. At the guild, Issei and Yunya went to their prospective set of actions. Issei went to the quest bulletin while Yunya went to resupply some of the necessities. Even though Issei doesn't need it, but he doesn't want Yunya becoming over-reliant on him, so she decided to let her do her own preparation. Issei once more seems a weird companion request posted on the bulletin, such as looking for a party member. The current party consists of a crusader and thief at the moment, preferably looking for a brute and violent new member. Any class is fine. 2. Looking for a party member that currently party consists of a no one cares. Number 3. Recruiting the team consists of super beautiful and outstanding archpriest, impolite, weakest class, Hinekneet. Wants to carry on journeys of heroes and take an exciting and warm, happy, risky adventure with the super beautiful, outstanding archpriest that guided by the goddess of water herself. Hurry and come join us. The condition to enter the team are only limited to the top tier class. How to say this? The first one part is very normal, but at the end, what's with the brute and violent part? While second one is all very normal and have the crusade but the demon lord, it seems like a nice object already. But this is a beginner city. Why would a beginner want a crusade against the demon lord this early on? As to the third one, no words needed to point out the weirdness. Only now Issei realizing this world is pretty weird for some obvious reasons. First Yunya case and now this. He now started doubting if this world is truly where the Semiramis wants him to go or not. He found out there's a bunch of cult that exists in this world, but the most famous one is the Iris cult and the Axis cult. Iris cult is the national religion of the Beelzebub kingdom. People believes goddess Iris is the one who controls the fortune of this world and goes by the name goddess to fortune Iris. And it also controls some life or death that happens in this world. That's why also Iris cult is the most famous cult in the world. Even the currency is named her, which is Iris currency. But Axis cult is famous for the opposite reason, namely known for their notoriety, their follower known to be having some screws loose or just plain weird in the head. They will stop at nothing for their missionary job, from fraud to exponori. They also always slander the Iris cult, such as the evil cult, heathen cult, crazy cult, etc. They will even smash the windows of the Iris church and beat up the believer of the Iris cult. This is also why some people thought the Axis cult belonged to the demon lord because of their notoriety. That's also why no one is willing to get involved with the Axis cult. Issei knows what he almost got himself into back then when he just arrived at this world. The one who told him Axis cult shall bring him salvation. That little girl pamphlet, if he recalled correctly, it has an Axis symbol on it. This cult believe in the goddess of water, Aqua. Perhaps the one who posted the third request is one of the Axis cult members? And that is the end of chapter 17. And that is where we're going to end it off for now. So welcome back to Cliffhangers. Just kidding. But seriously, thanks for all the support, ladies and gentlemen. I really do appreciate it. Once again, I know you're still in the premiere, so go ahead and hit the like button. Okay, I know you see it. And if you're already not subscribed, also hit the subscribe button. Also, you should become a channel member. No cap. So, I'm probably gonna do another series in continuation with this one, but I'm gonna pop out the neglected movie eventually. I just don't know when I'm going to do it, but I just want to thank everybody for the support, man. It's been one crazy ride, and a lot of people, I'm going to stream again, so just tell me when you want me to stream. What's a good time to stream that everybody can be there for? Do you want like 3 or 4 p.m.? Like, cause that's doable. So, I mean, I could do something like that. I can do that Thursday or Friday or Saturday or Sunday, but I need to do another stream before I go back home, but go back to school, because then I'm gonna start doing some collabs with some people. You know what I mean? Just because why not? You know what I'm saying? But so, you know, we could possibly have another woman on the stream. Woo, woman. Okay, so basically, yeah, I just wanted to say that. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, but like, I really do want to do some more things with Dragon Ball related on this channel. Like, definitely what if Goku was in High School DxD is definitely coming to the channel. I don't know if it's going to be a movie or part one's going to be like 2 hours. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but part one's either going to be really long or the movie is going to be like 6 hours, and I'm just going to upload that in general. But like, I don't know if I want to do that yet, so we'll see. I just wanted everyone to know what I'm doing, you know, so thanks for all the support. Like, once again, it's been pretty cool. Once again, thank you to all my balance breakers and my limit breakers. I do appreciate you as well, as well as my Ultra Instinct members. Seriously, you guys are the reason, like half my stuff is good and paid for. So seriously, thank you. I could not do it without any of you people at all. 31,000 subscribers, absolutely amazing. Thank you. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to be it for now. So Spartanic Arts DxD out. Hit the like button.